Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. So I'm waiting for my Instagram live to connect. I am live on my YouTube channel and I am live on my Instagram. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Life's Journey with Benedicta. Hi. Hi, Paul. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in, Sylvester. Thank you for joining in. Amaka, you're joining for the first time. Thank you for joining in. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it is youtube.com/Tastebudzng. And for those of you that have registered to this YouTube channel, thank you for joining the Tastebudz family. And on this channel, apart from our life journey series that we have every Saturday, we also have a lot of food video recipe uploads. So that is what that's what Tastebudz YouTube channel is all about. And on my Instagram, this is Tastebudzng. So thank you all for joining in. And on today's topic, we are going to be discussing safety in our schools. Safety in our schools. The question about the safety of the schools that our children are attending are beginning to pop up. It's becoming a topic for frequent conversations. Parents are beginning to lose sleep. I am beginning to lose sleep, and I know a lot of parents are beginning to lose sleep. Here on Life's Journey, we talk about topical issues that are happening in the present, issues that are worrisome, issues that we need answers to. So right now, schools are resuming. Some have already resumed last week, and a lot will be resuming next week. Those of us that are mothers, those of us that are guardians, we have children that will be going back to school next week. Some of us have lost sleep. We can't sleep. We are worried. Our maternal instincts have taken over. Our paternal instincts have taken over. We want to be assured of the safety in the schools our children are presently attending. A lot of us enrolled our children in the schools they are in, not because we did our due diligence, but some of us enrolled our children in the schools they are presently in because of our affiliations with the management of the school. Maybe the person that runs the school happens to be your cousin or happens to be your brother-in-law's wife. She owns the school. So you just want to keep the money in the family, okay? Or maybe your pastor's wife recommended you to the school, or your neighbor recommended you to the school, or you saw the beautiful structure with all the amazing infrastructure in the school. Dollars. And the tuition is, you believe that that is the school for your child to attend. So now the question is popping up. People are beginning to talk. Parents are beginning to talk. Parents are now beginning to ask these questions. How safe is the school my child is currently in? Or how safe are the schools my children are currently in? So I believe we should be having this conversation. I know a lot of us heard about the Don Davis story, the young 11-year-old boy that was harassed, that was molested in the boarding school that he was in. A very sad story, it's not one I like to remember, or it's not one I like to dwell on. But like I will tell you on Life Journey, when stories when we hear stories or events unfold, we want to learn from these events. We want to see how we can help in solving an existing problem. And outside helping to solve an existing problem, we also want to see how we can learn from this existing problem and how we can prevent this problem from reoccurring. The Don Davis situation happened. This young little 11-year-old boy was harassed, was molested in his school. And the people that were behind this up until now have not been arrested, they've not been brought to book. We all made a little noise here and there on the internet. Vanguard reported it, This Day reported it, a lot of online newspapers reported this Don Davis a tragedy. I call it a tragedy because there is no human, and not even a parent, I don't want to call parent because that's too much. There is no human that would want to see a loved one go through what Don Davis went through. Don Davis went through that, and investigations were carried out temporarily. The investigations were not carried out in full, and somehow, they dropped the ball. We saw this happen again with the late Karen, the 13-year-old girl that was also allegedly abused in her school, and she ended up dying of sepsis that resulted from the assault that was done to her. If you want to read about the Karen news, you want to read about the Karen story, I want you to go to Vanguard Online or Punch Online. It's on the internet. Karen's Pooch. She's a thief girl from Benue State. She's late now. She died tragically, also allegedly abused in the school that she was attending. So investigations currently from the news we're getting, nothing, no one has been brought forward for what happened to the late Karen. Her parents are distraught, her mom is traumatized, the mom is looking for help, she's seeking help, she's distraught because her baby cannot just die like that. Whoever was responsible or the people responsible have to be brought to book. We all watched this Karen story unfold, and we sat quietly, read the story, and we said nothing, and we did nothing, and we didn't demand for justice to be served for Karen. We didn't demand for justice to be served for Don Davis. Now, we have another case in our hands. We have the Sylvester Oromoni saga. We have heard all the reports in the news for the mere fact that the families haven't had closure because they believe that they are entitled to a fair trial. We should help that family. We should help the Oromoni family get closure by ensuring they get a fair trial. We are not asking for anything. We are not asking for. We don't want a situation where there will be an uproar in society. We don't want a situation whereby there will be chaos. All we are asking for is for the government to ensure that this family have closure. We want the Oromoni family to have closure. We want the families of the late Karen to have closure. We want Don Davis' mother to know that everyone responsible for what happened to Don Davis is brought to book. What we are asking for is part of our civil rights as citizens of this great country. I believe in a great Nigeria. I believe in the judicial system. I believe that in every bad situation, we still have some good people out there. Yes, we have good people in the judiciary. We have good people in the police. We still have good people in the government. There might not be too many, but we have them. And we want these good people to make the lives of these innocent children to count for something. We want to be reassured that our children will go to school and we will be able to sleep with our eyes closed as parents. We do not want to panic at the sound of every phone bell, phone ringing. Sometimes your alarm goes off, you feel your phone is ringing and it's not ringing, it's just an alarm. We don't want to live a life of fear because we are parents and we have children going to school in Nigeria. Let the lives of these children count for something. Please, as citizens of this great country, we owe it to the families of the Oromonis. We owe it to the families of the late Karen Kakuch. We owe it to Don Davis' family and so many other families of children that have been abused in schools. We owe them closure. These are human beings we're talking about. There is trauma. I remembered when our Shih Tzu puppy died from a weak heart. We had a Shih Tzu puppy I bought for my oldest daughter when she passed her common entrance into the secondary school. We bought her a Shih Tzu puppy, and after so many years, the puppy died of a weak heart. My youngest daughter was so traumatized, she cried for so long. Sometimes I will remember the puppy and I'll feel really down. So that is a pet we're talking about. That is a domestic pet. We are talking about humans. Children that have been carried by their moms. They have been played and hugged by their siblings. They have been nurtured. They have invested time, energy, and sweat, emotionally invested in this, only for them to be no more. And the worst part of it is for the families to feel that they owe their late children justice and they are unable to get justice for their late children. In the case of the late Karen, it was alleged that up until the time she passed on, she couldn't speak or she couldn't say the name or the names of the people that molested her. She couldn't say their names. But in the case of Sylvester Oromoni, he had a dying declaration. He mentioned some names. We are only begging, we are pleading with the government to please give the families a fair trial. It is not enough. It is not enough for there to be a live broadcast explaining what was in the pathology reports or how many pathology reports they had. They want a fair trial in court. They demand to have a fair trial. It is part of their civil rights as citizens of this country. Let them take their case forward to the High Court and let every party that is involved be called forward to speak their own truth. We are just asking for a fair trial. Let everything that happened or did not happen be brought before the courts. That is all we are asking for. Please, let us help these families. Let us help them to have closure. This country, I believe Nigeria, has all what it takes to be a great country, a country where citizens can trust the integrity of their government. We are responsible for electing the people in power. We are responsible for electing the people that are acting on our behalf as government officials. We believe that this country is great. We believe that together we can ensure that every citizen enjoys their civil rights, right to freedom, right to equality, freedom to practice whatever religion you deem fit, freedom to express yourself, and freedom to be heard in court. Please, this is not asking for too much. As parents, where are our maternal and paternal instincts? A lot of people are saying, oh, make I face my front, so I beg this Nigeria get us to be. It's so sad. We cannot get any pele will not bring about any solution. Pele will not bring these children back to life. Pele will not hurt the families. They are hurting. I have lost a sibling before. She was 32. My late elder sister, she was 32 when she passed on as a result of medical negligence. There was no oxygen. The hospital discovered that when she needed oxygen, they had run out of oxygen. Can you imagine a hospital not having oxygen? And then they were squeezing the canister and nothing was coming out. It was horrific. There is no 1 month that passes by that I don't think about her. Either I think about her and I remember the happy times we had, or I think about her and I cry, and I think about her and all the things we didn't do. Look, this hurt, it never goes anywhere. When you lose a loved one, especially a sibling or a child, a part of you dies. A part of you dies. That part can never be replaced. So the least we can give these families is for us to give them closure. Is for us to help them in getting closure. And while we are doing this, it is our responsibility to ask for stringent measures, stringent security measures to be enforced in all institutions of learning, especially institutions where we have minors. We cannot be too overprotective of our youngs in their learning, their respective needs. We can never be too trusting. Our parenting style now has to be intentional. We have to participate in our children's education on a closer range, from a close people that we entrust their care to can also abuse them. The earlier we start teaching this as part of the educational curriculum in our schools, the safer our children will be, the safer the learning environment will be for them. So education is a two-way road. Parents and teachers have to come together to create a safer learning environment for our children. Our parenting style has to be intentional. If you feel there is something wrong that is going on in your child's school, or you believe that you can advise them to make it better, the earlier you speak up as a parent, the better for you, the better for your child, and the better for all the children in that school. Enough of us saying, this is not my job, it's the job for the next parent to do. Or, well, this hasn't happened in my family, it has never happened to anybody in my family, so God forbid, it's not my portion. I sowed Isaac seed this January. The Isaac seed is protecting me and my children. So as my children are going to school this year, I soak them with the blood of Jesus. Nothing can happen to them. My dear, they lie you. Anybody's child can fall victim. Anybody's child can become a Don Davis. Anybody's child can become a Karen. Anybody's child can become a Sylvester. So don't say it has never happened in your family, you sowed Isaac seed, so your children are covered. Let us start working, physically working, to ensure that the learning spaces where our children are going to on a daily is safe. I'm going to be wearing my glasses now because I have a lot of comments. A lot of people are commenting, and I'd like to read some of their comments. Faith Repi said, in the UK, we have well-being pastorals for children. Okay, you have well-being pastorals for children, giving them an opportunity to speak about to things like bullying to abuse. Exactly, that is what pastorals are meant for in schools. My children went to a school where they also have pastorals, where they encourage children to speak. But my dear, it is one thing for you to encourage children to speak. For you to encourage them verbally to speak. Hello children, I want you to speak up. If there is anyone here that has bullied you, I want you to tell us. That is you encouraging them verbally. But these children do not take your verbal cues. They take the cues from your actions. Now that child is watching, and that child remembers that when Peter came up in the pastoral care and reported Benjamin for beating and bullying him, Benjamin wasn't suspended, Benjamin wasn't punished, Benjamin wasn't expelled. After he spoke up about bullying, the same Benjamin in question came and gave him the beating of his life. If Benjamin bullied him 5 times before he reported, Benjamin now bullied him 20 times. Now all the other children are watching. What do you think is going to happen the next time? Do you think when you have pastoral care and you ask them to speak out about bullying, or you ask them to speak out about molestation, any child is going to dare to get up? They will not dare to get up because you are just giving them verbal cue. Speak up. But from your actions, the children that spoke up were not punished. The children that spoke up about bullying, you didn't properly investigate. The children that spoke up about being punished, nothing was done to the perpetrators. You let them walk. By so doing, you have automatically killed the morale of every child that has been bullied in that school. So it is not enough for schools to put up big banners. You go to their school, you see those big banners, pastoral care extraordinary. I am sick of seeing those things. So if you're one of those schools that give that cue, pastoral care, verbal cue, children, we do not encourage bullying, what are you doing, practically doing, as an institution of learning to curb bullying? The bullies that have been reported, what have you done concerning them? Have they been suspended? Have they been properly punished? Have they been adequately punished for whatever offense it is they committed? Because I believe there is a particular punishment meted out to a particular offense or a particular crime. Not all punishment carries the same, not all crime carries the same punishment. So as a school, are you the reported cases of bullying? Are you suspending, punishing, or expelling students that have been found wanting? Or have sacred cows in your school? It was a topic I had here. Sacred cows in our educational system. Because of the family, the timber and caliber, the kind of family they come from. Some teachers are sacred cows in some institution of learning because of how they got employed. Godfather or their administrator are sacred cows. So the sacred cows in institution of learning cannot be reported for bullying. If you do, you can never, as an institution of learning, implement pastoral care effectively. You can never be able. So parents, we are sending our children to very expensive schools, cheap schools, semi-expensive schools. The cost of the tuition should not be our primary concern. What should be our primary concern is the school administrative style. They handle poor quality or poor grades, poor academic grades. How do they handle poor academic? How do they handle bullying issues? How do they handle mental and emotional stress management for the students? Those are some of the criteria we should begin to look at as parents and the amount of tuition that you are paying for. Schools should begin to implement policies against sexual abuse. It is another question. Sometimes do not take action. Yes, Margaret Kalu, that is why I said that our parenting style now should be intentional. We should be more committed to parenting. We should more increase parents when it's to anything that bothers around our children. And most importantly, we should be able to encourage to speak. We shouldn't make so holy or trusted and can never go wrong. Let your children always know that no one is perfect. No one is too good that they cannot see that person in a godly status. Like, whoa, my mommy said this person cannot do no wrong. And whatever he is doing to me is obviously right. Or whatever he's doing to me, God must have told him to do so because he is a good person and he cannot do any wrong. No. Always make your children realize that everyone can err. There is no advising me. There will come a time that schools here in Nigeria, I don't know about other countries, but when they tell you a school is private, what they usually tell you when you take your child is, oh, our classes, we have very few students in our classes. We do not have more. Some classes even have 5 students. That is what they tell you. And then sometimes, not in all schools, your child will start with a class of 13 to 15. By the time she's in the 2nd or 3rd year, the school has grown in leaps, in bounds, the school has grown in popularity. You don't find your child in a class of 25. It happened to me once in a private school my child was in. To the principal, the school 2 years ago, you are sure classes will never be more than 15. Actually, when my child started that school, there were about 7 in a class. 2 years down the line, there were 26, 27 in a class. I needed to have a chat with the principal. Not the deal. What's going on? And she said, okay, yeah, I know we're trying to build classes. Come this summer holiday, when they go for the summer holiday, we're going to be doing renovations. And right now, for the interim, we're going to have 2 in a class, something like that. So you have to be vigilant as a parent. So when the things you were promised at the onset, when you were enrolling your child in that school, it's no longer being practiced, it's no longer being put in place. It is left for you as a parent to raise it with the school management. It is not you being problematic. Faith Therapy says all over the world, people are protesting against mandates. Margaret Carlo said, if only the other parents will get involved, it will make a world of good. Yes. Yes. Faith Therapy says, national protest, same energy as NSAS. Now, like I said, with the NSAS, we saw a lot of innocent people suffering. We do not want that to happen. We had a lot of entrepreneurs, we had a lot of them suffer from the NSAS protest. Shops were destroyed, property was vandalized, there was a breakdown in law and order. We do not want that to happen. We don't want a repeat of that to happen. And that is why we are asking for a fair trial for the families of the late Sylvester Oromoni. I think as a country, as a democratic country, we owe that to that family. If they are asking for a court trial, I don't see anything wrong with that. There is nothing to hide. Everybody will just come before the High Court and speak their truth. And then the High Court judge will decide. Pathology reports will be brought out. We are still awaiting the chief coroner's report. The chief coroner's report is not yet out. From the news we gathered on channels, television, we are awaiting the chief coroner's report. So there are lots of reports that we're still awaiting. So there is nothing wrong with bringing everybody's truth to the courtroom and let the families of the late Sylvester Oromoni, let them have closure. They are hurting. They are hurting. Nobody wants to be in their situation right now. Losing a loved one, losing a child that young, a child that innocent. An 11-year-old is a saint, for crying out loud. That is the blood of a child crying for justice. Let everybody bring their truths to the courthouse. That is all we want. An opportunity for everybody to bring their truths forward in a court trial. It is not too much to ask from the government. Sometimes the government might make a decision and later on they might have a rethink. So what we are begging, what we are pleading, what we are asking is for the government to have a rethink. They should re-evaluate the Sylvester Oromoni situation. They should please re-evaluate it and say, you know what, since the citizens of Nigeria are not entirely satisfied with our verdict, the parents are in so much pain. They are not satisfied with our reports. They are not satisfied with our findings. They are aggrieved and they need closure. Let us have a rethink and let us give all parties the opportunity of coming forward with their truths to the High Court. And let everybody watch and see what the ruling will be. We owe them that much. We owe them. They are the ones grieving. They are the ones mourning. They are the ones that have lost a child. They are the ones wearing the shoes. They are in pain. Let us see what we can do to help these families get closure. Please, I'm begging you all. Collectively, as a people, we can make the government to have a rethink. We do not want a breakdown of law and order. No. It hasn't gotten to that. And it will not get to that. We just want a fair trial. Let every party involved have the opportunity of bringing their truth to the courtroom. And let justice prevail at the end of the day. We want justice for Karen. We want justice for Don Davis. We want justice for the late Sylvester Oromoni. We want a safer learning environment for our children. We owe our children this much. We do not want a repeat situation. Enough. Our silence has become too loud. As parents, our silence has become too loud. If we feel that the government has erred or the government is not has not approached this matter appropriately, we are begging them to have a rethink. Let them have a rethink. Let them reevaluate